everyone, it's Ivett and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Mercier Silk Cream Foundation that I have been so in love with, and I know you guys are probably like, another foundation she's completely obsessed with, but I'm so picky with my foundations that I will not buy or I will not keep something that does not work for me. And that is why whenever I do a review, it's usually a pretty good review because I'm not gonna, you know, try to make something work that I just don't like. So I've been using this, as you guys know, throughout the whole month, and I am so glad that I did not decide to do a first impressions on this, because the very first time I used it, I hated it. It was not good. I had cake face and everything I did not want. So I'm really glad that I decided to give this a try, use it different ways. I found a really good way to wear it. So I'm so in love with this foundation, you guys. And if you've been watching my videos, you would know I've been using it in like tutorials, and I've just been talking about it a lot, and a lot of you tell me that my skin looks amazing, and usually it's because I have this foundation on. So not that, you know, that's everything, but that definitely does help. So the box tells us diddly squat pretty much. Besides, it just says Silk Cream Foundation, luminous formula. It's got 1.18 fluid ounces, which is a little bit more than a typical foundation in a bottle. And it says it's dermatologically and allergy tested. So that is all the box says. So I had to look it up on my phone, and online it says that this creamy long wearing formula glides over skin effortlessly for perfect application and blendability. A special collection of silk proteins, tea extracts, and treated mica blend together to create a luxuriously hydrating foundation that leaves skin softer, smoother, and flawless. Advanced light reflecting ingredients work to make the appearance of fine lines and imperfections disappear. Even the hardest to hide pigmentations are covered to look much smoother and more even, providing full coverage that lasts up to 12 hours. This foundation is ideal for special events or photography. I definitely agree with that, the last part. Definitely a good foundation for special events, for filming, for photography. I mean, anything like that, it really is good. Like I said, a lot of you guys compliment my skin, and sometimes I think a lot has to do with this foundation, but you know, having good skin is as well, but this definitely helps. Now, I don't have perfect skin by any means. My skin has been through hell and back, but it really does help hide those imperfections. So I definitely agree with that. I don't know about 12 hours worth of wear out of this, maybe 8 to 10, but for me, I don't get 12 hours. I have really oily skin, so that might have something to do with it. Now, if you do have dry skin, you might get a lot more wear out of it, but I certainly don't. I do recommend blotting with this foundation a little bit sooner than later, because if you wait too long, you will take more product off. The box said something different, but here it says it's dermatologist tested, non-comedogenic, and it's free of oil and fragrance and perfect for all skin types. Why doesn't the box say the same thing? Okay, anyways, good thing I read that. It does come with 10 colors, or it comes in 10 shades, I should say. My shade is Soft Ivory, which is the second to last lightest shade, and it's $47. Now, it is a little bit pricey, but I personally think it's worth it. You do get a lot of product, and what I love is that it does come in a squeeze tube, so you are going to get every last bit out. It's not like a, you know, glass bottle that it's really hard to get everything out of. So you are getting your money's worth with this. Just in case you guys wanted to see how I set it, what primer I use, and everything in between, I'm going to do like a small little foundation demo for you guys. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be using is my Rachel K CC Cream in Fair. And I will put a link to where I get it down below. And this is not a CC cream or a BB cream. In my opinion, this is more of a primer. It cancels out the redness in your skin. I just think it's a mattifying primer, honestly, because it doesn't give you any extra coverage. So I really like it. Because I'm oily skinned, I have to use a mattifying primer with this foundation, or any kind of foundation that is more of like a dewy, luminous type of foundation, because if I use something with more slip or silicone based, that foundation is just gonna slide off my face within a couple hours, and I don't want that. So I am going to be using this, and I just want to mention that if you do have dry skin, using a primer with more, you know, silicone base or more of a slip to it might work better for you, but in my case, having super oily skin, it does not do me any justice. So I can't use that, but I just wanted to throw it out there. And I'm just going to take a pea size amount, and I'm just going to dot this all over and then just blend it out. So, and I believe this does have sunscreen in it. Yes, sunscreen 35. So I get my extra sunscreen with this. Okay, so once that's blended in, I mean, as you guys can see, it doesn't give me like any extra coverage, but it does fill in my pores, and that's exactly what I want. So now I'm going to take my Laura Mercier Silk Cream Foundation. I'm going to give it a good shake because it says shake well. So I'm just going to shake it, and then I only use a pea size amount of this too, because anything more, and I have cake face, so I gotta be careful, but just a pea size amount, and I'm just going to dab it all over my face. And then I'm going to use my Sephora, this is the Pro Flawless Bronzer Brush, the number 46, yeah, number 46, and I'm just going to blend it into my skin. Now, if you do have dry skin, you probably could get away with using a beauty blender. I have used a beauty blender with this because it is more of like a mousse like foundation, but because I have oily skin, I did get, you know, a little bit cakey, but it did give me a lot more coverage by using a beauty blender, so you can definitely try that. But if you have oily skin, you really do want to blend this out like you have nothing on your skin. Just keep on blending, and just don't use too much because you're really not going to like it. I've done that before where I just had to take it off right away, and I mean, the less the better with this, unless you have dry skin, then I think it's a different story. So once my brush is pretty much dry, and I don't really feel like there's anything else on here, I'm pretty much done. And you can, you know, go over your eyelids and everything, but I still gotta do the rest of my makeup, so I'm not gonna get too crazy. And then I'm gonna take my NARS concealer in Vanilla, and I'm going to just add a little bit to conceal any darkness I might have. I usually don't have a problem with a lot of darkness under my eyes, so I don't need too much concealer, but for the sake of showing you guys how I set everything, I might as well show you all, right? So I'm just gonna blend my concealer out with my F86. And then, as always, I'm going to be setting my under eye concealer with my MAC Emphasize powder, and I am using my little Real Techniques setting brush. So I'm just going to set my under eyes real quick. Now, to set my foundation, I am using my Laura Mercier Loose Mineral Powder in Real Sand. I know I use this in like every review because this is just my tried and true you know, powder to set any foundation I have. It just makes your skin look healthy and glowy, and just, it's not a heavy setting powder, so I really love it. And I'm using my F30 by Sigma, so I pretty much just shake it and get a little bit in my lid, just like so. And then I will just dab my brush into the lid, tap off the excess, and then just press it into my skin. And you don't need a lot of powder to set this foundation, because it has a tendency, you know, like I said, to get a little cakey, but I just love it. These two work so well together. I'm a fan of this powder, and I always will be. So I'm just going to finish setting my skin real quick. And then you can go ahead and just buff in your powder after you applied it, and it just gets into all your little pores and whatnot. But it just gives a really, really good finish. So this is just the best setting powder ever. I highly recommend it to everybody. I don't think it will disappoint. So now let's finish up with the rest of the review. So I hope you guys found that demo helpful. I know when I watch a foundation review, it helps me when I see how the person uses it with a primer, what they use to set it, and everything like that. So I really wanted to help even one person out. I love the coverage. It really fills in my pores. It makes my skin look pretty darn good, I must say. I absolutely love it. I love it better than my Dior Star, hands down. I didn't think I was gonna say that so soon, because I really love that Dior Star, but this just beats everything. And there is no fragrance to it, and I don't think my skin actually has ever even reacted to it. I don't think it has caused any breakouts, not that I remember. It has not clogged my pores, and I notice right away if something does clog my pores. So I absolutely love this stuff. I highly recommend getting a sample though, because it might not be for everybody. If you're looking for a foundation that's mattifying, this is not it. This is going to give you a healthy, dewy glow. Now by, you know, the 8th hour, I do notice that I'm getting a little bit of creasing, you know, my forehead wrinkles and whatnot. But it's not like crazy bad to where I like never want to put this on again or nothing. But I try to blot, you know, the sooner the better, like I said, because that way I don't take as much product off my skin. So that's kind of my trick for that. But overall, I really do like it. I really love the consistency of it. It just glides on your skin. And when you put it on first, you don't really look like you have a lot of foundation on, but after you set it, it looks awesome. So I really, really love this foundation. I hope you guys give it a try. If you have any other questions, let me know down below. I will get those answered as soon as I can. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and thank you all, and have a wonderful day. Bye.